What's up, NBA Nation? Can you believe we're just 1 month away from training camps and some of the league's biggest names are still sitting at home without contracts? I'm talking about former All-Stars, championship contributors, and rising superstars who could literally change the entire landscape of the 2025-26 season. Today, we're diving deep into the most shocking free agency limbo in recent NBA history. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where these 10 game changers are heading. And trust me, some of these predictions will absolutely blow your mind. But first, smash that like button if you're as stunned as I am that these players are still available. Folks, what we're witnessing right now is unprecedented in modern NBA history. We've got a perfect storm brewing that's left some serious talent hanging in the balance. Here's the brutal reality. This offseason, teams had virtually no cap space. We're talking about one of the most restricted financial landscapes we've ever seen in the league. And when teams don't have money to spend, even proven players get left out in the cold. But here's where it gets really interesting. Of the original top 25 free agents from July, most have found homes. But the remaining 10, these aren't your typical bench warmers or end-of-rotation guys. We're talking about players who could be the missing piece that takes a contender over the top, or the veteran presence that transforms a rebuilding team's culture overnight. Let me paint you a picture of just how wild this situation is. We've got 4 restricted free agents in our top 10. That's almost half. These are young, talented players whose own teams are basically playing chicken with them, betting they won't walk away from guaranteed money. Before we dive into the main event, let's talk about the elephant in the room, Malik Beasley. This guy was supposed to be one of the hottest commodities this summer. Elite shooter, proven playoff performer with the Pistons. But then, boom, a federal gambling investigation completely derailed his market. Now, his lawyers are saying he's not a target, but the damage is done. Teams are spooked, and honestly, can you blame them? In today's NBA, even the whisper of impropriety can tank your value overnight. My prediction? Detroit brings him back because they desperately need his shooting. And at $7.2 million, that's a steal if he's truly cleared. But man, what a cautionary tale about how quickly your career can hang in the balance. Alright, let's get into the meat of this countdown. Starting with number 10, Malcolm Brogdon, the veteran nobody wants. Malcolm Brogdon sitting at number 10 is absolutely mind-blowing to me. This is a guy who was making $22.5 million last season. That's serious money for serious production. But here's the harsh reality in today's NBA. If you can't stay healthy, your value plummets faster than a crypto crash. The Wizards, their full-scale rebuilding mode after trading for CJ McCollum. They want young guys making mistakes and learning, not a veteran eating minutes. But here's my hot take. Minnesota is desperate for guard depth behind Mike Conley. Brogdon's basketball IQ and championship experience, that's exactly what a team with title aspirations needs. Mark my words, he's heading to Minneapolis. Number 9, DeAnthony Melton, the Golden State mystery. Now this is where things get really spicy. DeAnthony Melton and the Warriors situation is one of the worst kept secrets in the league right now. Multiple sources around the NBA are whispering that this deal is basically done. They're just waiting for the right moment to announce it. Think about it. Golden State has been eerily quiet this offseason. No big moves, no splashy signings. They're sitting there with only 9 players under contract. That's not an accident, people. They're clearly waiting for something. And that something is likely finalizing deals with their key free agents. Melton fits their system perfectly. Tough defender, can handle the ball, won't step on Curry's toes. This is happening, guaranteed. Speaking of Golden State secrets, Gary Payton II is basically in the same boat as Melton. This guy is Steph Curry's best friend on the defensive end of the court. When you've got a player who can lock down the opposing team's best guard while Curry focuses on offensive magic, you don't let him walk. Yes, he might have to take a pay cut from his $9.2 million last season, but in today's market, that's the reality. The Warriors know his value, he knows his role, and most importantly, Steve Kerr trusts him. In Golden State's system, that trust is worth its weight in championship rings. Number 7. Ben Simmons, the redemption story. Oh boy, where do I even start with Ben Simmons? This guy went from being viewed as a franchise cornerstone in Philadelphia to taking a buyout in Brooklyn to actually contributing to the Clippers' playoff run. Talk about a roller coaster career. But here's the plot twist. The Clippers moved on. They signed Chris Paul, Brook Lopez and others, basically saying, thanks for the playoff help, but we're good. Now here's my bold prediction that might surprise you. The New York Knicks on a minimum deal. Think about it. Tom Thibodeau loves versatile defenders who can facilitate. Simmons still has elite playmaking abilities, and on a minimum contract, the risk-reward ratio is absolutely perfect for a team trying to make that next leap in the Eastern Conference. Number 6. Russell Westbrook, the former MVP still fighting. This summer is absolutely heartbreaking for old-school NBA fans. This man was an MVP, a triple-double machine. And now he's been essentially cast aside by Denver after just one season. The Nuggets completely blew up their front office, firing coach Mike Malone and executive Calvin Booth. They've loaded up with Cam Johnson, Jonas Valanciunas, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown. The message to Russ, we're good without you. For Sacramento, they need a point guard behind Dennis Schroeder, and Westbrook still has that competitive fire. A 2-year minimum deal with a player option makes sense for everyone. The Kings get veteran leadership and playoff experience, and Russ gets a chance to prove he can still contribute to winning basketball. The top 5 that will shake the league. Now we're getting to the players who could literally change the NBA landscape. These aren't just roster additions. These are franchise-altering decisions that could determine playoff seeding and championship contenders. Number 5. Al Horford, the championship veteran's last stand. This one hits different, NBA fans. Al Horford was a crucial piece of Boston's championship puzzle. And now he's looking for potentially his final NBA contract at 39 years old. But here's the kicker. The Celtics are basically punting this season with Jason Tatum's Achilles injury. The Warriors connection makes perfect sense. They need veteran leadership, championship experience, and a big man who can stretch the floor. Horford checks every single box. A 2-year minimum deal with a player option? That's Golden State getting championship insurance at a bargain price. Number 4. Cam Thomas, the scoring machine in limbo. Now this is where the free agency gets absolutely wild. Cam Thomas is a 23-year-old bucket getter who averaged serious numbers for Brooklyn, and he's stuck because of restrictive free agency politics. Here's the crazy part. The Nets were the only team with substantial cap space this summer, and they don't even want to pay their own guy. Brooklyn is clearly tanking, rebuilding, whatever you want to call it, and they're basically forcing Thomas to accept their low-ball offer or take a 1-year qualifying offer. This is highway robbery. A young scorer with his potential should be getting paid, but the system is working against him. My prediction? He's forced to take that $6 million qualifying offer, which is absolutely criminal for a player of his caliber. Number 3. Jonathan Kuminga, the $30 million standoff. Get ready for this drama, because Jonathan Kuminga's situation is peak NBA theatre. This 22-year-old wants $30 million per year. That's near max money for a player who's still developing his game. The Warriors? They're offering 2 years, $45 million with a team option. Do you see the massive gap here? Kuminga wants to get paid like a superstar. Golden State wants team control. This is the classic risk versus reward scenario that could define both parties' futures. But here's the reality check. If Kuminga takes that qualifying offer, he's gambling $14 million this season alone, betting on himself to have a breakout year. That's generational wealth he'd be walking away from. My prediction? Pride aside, money talks. He takes the Warriors. Offer because passing up guaranteed millions for the uncertainty of free agency next year is just too risky. Number 2. Quentin Grimes, the luxury tax dilemma. Quentin Grimes is caught in the most frustrating situation in all of professional sports, being held hostage by luxury tax calculations. Philadelphia is sitting $542,000 over the tax line, and they're hesitating to commit serious money to a 25-year-old who could be a key rotation piece. This is where NBA business gets absolutely ruthless. The Sixers are playing with championship aspirations, but they're penny pinching over tax implications. Meanwhile, Grimes is watching his prime years tick away while accountants crunch numbers. The tension here is incredible. Do the Sixers prioritize immediate financial flexibility or long-term roster building? I think they offer him around $12.5 million, trying to thread the needle between keeping a valuable player and avoiding massive tax penalties. Number 1. Josh Giddey, the ultimate high-stakes poker game. And here we have it, the most dramatic free agency standoff of the entire summer. Josh Giddey versus the Chicago Bulls in the ultimate game of chicken. A 22-year-old rising star who could be the franchise's future point guard, staring down a front office that thinks they hold all the cards. Chicago's offering around $80 million over 4 years, basically saying take it or leave it, because no one else can pay you. But Giddey? He's considering the nuclear option, taking an $11.1 million qualifying offer and betting everything on himself having a breakout season. We're talking about a young man potentially walking away from $70 million in guaranteed money to bet on his own talent. This is the kind of high-stakes drama that makes the NBA absolutely addictive. The psychological warfare, the financial calculations. The pure audacity required to turn down that kind of money. My prediction? If Chicago throws in a player option for year 4, Giddey takes the deal. But if they refuse to budge on contract structure, we might witness one of the boldest free agency gambles in NBA history. NBA fans, what we're watching unfold here is absolutely unprecedented. 10 players who could change franchises, stuck in limbo because of salary cap mathematics and front office politics. From Malik Beasley's gambling investigation nightmare to Josh Giddey's $80 million poker game, this free agency period has given us more drama than a Netflix series. But here's the thing, this is just the beginning. Once these dominoes start falling, we're going to see a chain reaction of moves that could completely reshape the NBA landscape before training camps even begin. And speaking of chain reactions and breaking news, you cannot afford to miss what's coming next. The NBA never sleeps, and neither does this channel. I've got insider information on potential trades that could happen before the season starts. And you're going to want to hear about the shocking moves that teams are already planning for the trade deadline. Hit that subscribe button right now and ring that notification bell, because when these free agency decisions finally drop, you're going to want to get the instant analysis and breakdown of what it means for your favorite team.